Welcome to the program. People have become worried about their travels when Corona has started to rise again. But there are still destinations in the world which have some potential to host tourists even in times of Corona because they can offer places which are not very crowded and have diversity of interests for people. And Pakistan is counted among such destinations. It is difficult to describe touristic potential of Pakistan in just one go because of its huge area, variety of geography and ecology, and also the diversity of its heritage. We have started a series of programs on touristic attractions of Pakistan. And in the first of the episode, we will give you an overview of Pakistan's touristic potential. We are lucky to have with us Mr. Aftab Ahmed Rana, who is Managing Director of Pakistan Tourism Development Corporation, and he is also President of Pakistan's Sustainable Tourism Foundation. Let's meet Mr. Rana. Welcome to the program, Mr. Aftab Rana. Thank you for giving us time. And may I request you to kindly give us a glimpse of touristic potential of Pakistan?
Thank you, Sultana Saiba, for inviting me to talk about the tourism potential. For this, I have prepared a short presentation through which I can give you a glimpse of Pakistan tourism potential. Let me share my screen so I could show you what I have for you in this presentation. So let's start with this presentation by showing you the map of Pakistan. If you look at this map, you can easily understand that Pakistan is one of those countries in the world which are blessed with diverse inventory of tourist attraction. And this is all based on the unique endowment of natural landscape feature, its biodiversity, its rich cultural heritage, and also lots of interesting historical perspective which we have. So Pakistan got a unique geographic location with natural diversity ranging from the seashore to the world tallest mountain. And just to give you a glimpse what we have in terms of potential, you can see Pakistan is a place where the three great mountain ranges meet together, including the Himalayas, the Hindu Kush, and Karakoram. And this is a country where you can find such a large number of mountain peaks which you cannot find in any other country in the world, including the K2, which is second highest. We have five peaks over 8,000 meter out of 14 in the world, and there are more than 102 peaks over 7,000 meter, and many more above 6,000 and 7,000. And this provides us a great mountain panorama which can attract a large number of adventure tourists from rest of the world. And Pakistan is also blessed with the longest glaciers outside polar region. And some of the glaciers are in these mountains of Hindu Kush and Karakorums and Himalayas are even longer than 70 kilometer, like the Siachen and Biafo Hispa, Baltoro. So this is all a great blessing of God on this country where we can have such a great mountain landscape which can offer number of opportunities for different kind of adventure tourism in these mountains, including mountaineering, rock climbing, skiing, snowboarding, paragliding, whitewater rafting. So it's a great landscape where people can come for different kind of adventure tourism activities in Pakistan. When you descend down from the high mountains, there are beautiful valleys like the Karakoram Range, where you can find this kind of beautiful landscape. And descending down, traveling on Karakoram Highway, which is one of the most beautiful road in the world. You reach to the areas of Sawat, Kagan, and the Dir Kostan, where there are such kind of beautiful green, lush green valleys are available. And all along these valleys, the numbers of beautiful lakes, and many of these lakes are just accessible by foot. And there are hundreds of these lakes available in the mountains of Pakistan. Not only that, but Pakistan is also rich in history. If you go back into the history of humankind, Mehergarh is having the history of 9,000 years human settlement on earth. Rather, this is one of the earliest farming settlement in South Asia. It's in the Balochistan province. And then we have the Mohenjo-daro, which is one of the oldest developed civilization in the world, having a history of more than 4,500 years. And then there are many places where you can find the historical places of various Hindu dynasties. And most importantly, in the area from Peshawar to Swat and towards Taxila, there used to be a kingdom of Gandhara. And thousands of sites of Gandhara religion available in these valleys where people from different countries come to see the great historical heritage of Buddhist religion. Rather, this is the area from where the Mahayana Buddhism spread into the world. And in the recent years, there's also lots of interesting settlements in terms of the large cities, like the Peshawar is one of the oldest living city in the world. It's such a rich culture and history you can see in this city. Same is the case for the Lahore, which is famous as the cultural hub of Pakistan. The beautiful buildings of Mughal era and number of other dynasties available right up to the British Raj period, which are great attraction for the people who are interested in cultural aspect of this country. Punjab is also famous because of the important religion which developed in this area by Baba Guru Nanak. The Sikh heritage sites which are in Pakistan are the most holiest places of Sikh religion, and every year thousands of Sikh people come to visit these places as well. And if you further descend toward the south, you can see the beautiful province of Sindh, which is also famous as the land of Sufis and saints. And the many historical places, shrines, forts, and mosques in this province, which are equally interesting for the culture sightseeing tours. And side by side in this area, we have beautiful desert of Cholistan and the Tharparkar, where you can see indigenous culture of Cholistani people, and also a number of important historical places which are along the ancient Hakra River, the forts and palaces, which people can see in this region. And further traveling towards south, you reach to the Arabian Sea. And Pakistan, especially the Makran coast area, which is longer than 752 kilometers long, has a very, very unique kind of a landscape in terms of the mountainous terrain and side by side beautiful sandy beaches, which are all virgin so far, have not been developed, and the beaches in the rest of the world. So there's a great potential to explore the virgin beaches in this country. The most important aspect in this country is that Pakistan is a very, very diverse in terms of living culture as well. It's a country where more than 74 languages are spoken in different regions. When you are traveling in Pakistan from south to north or north to south, you never feel bored because after every 50 and 60 kilometer, there's a change of faces, there's a pay change of language, cuisine, and food and culture. So there's a great diversity of living culture which tourists can experience in this country. And one of the very important and ancient culture is still available to see in the mountains of Chitral Valley, which is the Kailasha people. Actually, they are the people who came with Alexander the Great in 327 BC and now are settled in three valleys of Chitral, and they're still following the old practices and religion in the mountains of Chitral area. And side by side, the great diversity of wildlife is available in this country. Because as I mentioned, the Pakistan is from the high mountains to the sea level. So we have 9 ecological zones that creates a great habitat for a diverse kind of biodiversity available in this region, which could be promoted to promote sustainable ecotourism and wildlife tourism in this country. The same is the case with the great cuisine and food available on a very, very reasonable prices in Pakistan. Sometimes foreigners are surprised that there's such a country where there's a great food variety available on very, very reasonable prices. And also in every town and every village, in every city, you find hundreds of people making different handmade products. So it's a country where you can, when you go back, you can fill your bags with various kind of souvenirs, ethnic products, which can be shared with your relatives and friends when you are back home. And they're all very delicately and passionately made in Pakistan. And Pakistan is also a country which has a passion of games, and especially the passion of cricket is in the lifeblood of this nation. Everywhere in the streets and in the towns and the mountains, you find people, children playing cricket in the grounds and the streets. So it's a kind of a great passion in this country. Not only that, but side by side, you can also experience number of traditional sports in this country, from the wild polo in the mountains to the wrestling in the plains, to the camel race, and also the bull race and the tent pegging. And there are many other traditional sports which are still played in Pakistan in its original form. And one of the interesting aspects in the mountain is the Shandur, where there's a highest polo field where the teams from Chitral and Gilgit-Baltistan region every year meet together in the month of July and play polo in its most original form, in number of matches which take place here. And not the ancient history, but Pakistan is also side by side a modern country. We have the beautiful city of Islamabad, which is the capital, with the new buildings, and it shows the country's progress and prosperity, which is on the move now. So, based on all this, what I have shown you, a very small glimpse of the actual potential which you can see and visit in this country. We can promote different kind of tourism product. It's not just a country which is suitable for one kind of tourism. We have recreation tourism, adventure, culture, religious tourism, sports tourism, ecotourism, educational, conference and agro-based tourism, shopping, business, youth, and many other forms of tourism available in this country. Pakistan tourism industry is growing rapidly. In 2014, there was something about 1.5 million tourists traveling in the country, which has now grown up to the number of 6.6 million tourists. Although we have the largest segment is the domestic tourism market, which is 96%, and the foreign tourism market is only 4%. So, for many foreigners, Pakistan is a kind of a country which is famous as the best kept secret of the tourism world. So there's quite a lot to see for the foreigners in this country in terms of the tourism which is available in terms of various products in Pakistan. So, as a whole, Pakistan is having a good impact of tourism in the recent years, and we are having 5.9% contribution in the national economy in terms of GDP contribution. The 3.8 million people are associated with the travel and tourism sector directly and indirectly. And out of the foreign tourism coming to Pakistan, Pakistan is making something about 852 billion annually from tourism. The present government of Prime Minister Imran Khan has taken very, very special interest in the promotion of tourism in the recent year. This government has created a National Tourism Coordination Board. They have taken steps to revamp and restructure Pakistan Tourism Development Corporation. An e-visa facility first time has been introduced for 191 countries, and now the effort is being made that 20 countries will be given the opportunity to have visa on arrival. Now we have also a national tourism strategy under which we are taking various steps to promote and create facilities for tourism in Pakistan. And provincial governments are working on establishing integrated tourism zones in different areas to have more facilities for tourism in coming years. We are also working now to develop a Pakistan tourism brand to promote Pakistan in rest of the world as a tourist friendly country. And we are also going to launch in December a national e-portal on tourism through which all the information and services for tourists will be available to the people who are interested to come to Pakistan. And side by side, we're working on the promotion of national minimum standards to improve the quality of services. If you know, the Skardu is one of the airport in the mountains, which has been only a domestic airport. Now the government has improved the facilities there, and it is now going to have flights from different countries also coming to there. We'll be having a status of international airport as well. This year, we have already linked this airport with Karachi, Lahore, Faisalabad, Sialkot, besides Islamabad. Now there's quite a lot of people who can easily reach to Skardu to see the great mountain landscape and do adventure activities there. The present government is also focusing on the privatization to engage private investors and overseas Pakistanis and even foreign investors in tourism projects. So, for that, we are all now set to privatize all the motels and hotels and the rest houses which are under the government right now to private sector so that they could come forward, invest into these projects, and also improve the level of services for the forthcoming tourism in the country. Meanwhile, Pakistan is also working on a very, very important project, which is CPAC, with the cooperation of Chinese government. And under CPAC, we are linking north, south, all the destinations in Pakistan through modern roads and highways and motorways. So, in hopefully in next 2 to 3 years, there'll be a greater accessibility available through these network to all the tourist sites in the Pakistan, and many more infrastructure facilities will be developed along the CPAC route, which is not just an economic corridor, but it is also going to become a great tourist corridor for the country of Pakistan, linking Gwadar, which is on the Makran coast, right to Khuncherab Pass, which is at the border of China. So there's some aspect of tourism development. Side by side, the glimpses of tourism potential available with us. So I welcome people from all over the world to come to Pakistan. We are in a process of improving ourselves. There's a great potential of tourism from the high mountains to the sandy beaches of Makaran Coast. And I hope the people, especially the Western and the Pakistanis, overseas Pakistani, would love to come back and explore this country. Thank you very much, Sultana ji.
Okay, thank you very much for such a comprehensive presentation. I know that it's a difficult task to explain Pakistan's potential because it's huge and the area is vast and it has variety, it has diversity, and there's heritage and the variety of touristic attractions. There's variety of culture, and you have very nicely presented the entire glimpse of Pakistan. And we will, in future, request you to give us more focused presentations on themes and areas so that our audience who want to visit Pakistan become well aware of all these attractions, and they know where to go and how to explore different areas of Pakistan according to their interests. I have few questions regarding like these days, as you know, that Corona is rising again, and people might be reluctant to travel again in these times. But do you think that Pakistan has some unique features which make it still possible for tourists to visit Pakistan even during the times of Corona?
Yes, Sultana ji, in the recent year, Corona has not affected the tourism industry of Pakistan, but all over the world, it has been, badly hit. You see, if you look at the figures, there was overall 80% decline in international travel from one country to other country. And the same thing also affected Pakistan foreign tourism industry. But I can tell you that we were very swift in taking step to improve our condition in terms of meeting the challenge of corona. Pakistan government immediately established a national committee on the crisis management in this corona period, and we took number of steps. For example, engaging all the stakeholders to improve their knowledge and their capacity in terms of the SOPs follow for to develop and following in their businesses, from hotels, from restaurants, from travel agents, and all that. And over the year, even last year, when there was very severe condition, we were able to open our tourism sector in the month of August. And this year, we opened our tourism sector in the month of May even. And there were quite a number of foreigners even coming to Pakistan for mountaineering and rock climbing and trekking in the mountain. And they all appreciated the efforts of Pakistan government to promote safe and sound tourism in a very controlled manner. So we have although been affected due to the COVID impact because most of the flights were closed. But very recently, in the first week of November, Pakistan government has resumed the 100% flight operation for Pakistan. Now, all the flights from rest of the world can come to Pakistan without any problem. Yes, there are still certain parameters which tourists need to follow. For example, they should have a vaccination certificate with them. They should have also PCR certificate with them, so they don't have corona while entering into Pakistan, but they don't have any restriction in terms of the quarantine on arrival or things like that. So if they have a vaccination certificate and they have PCR certificate, they can easily enter Pakistan and travel freely all around. And very recently now, the number has declined quite a lot. The percentage of corona cases is less than 1% now in Pakistan. So it's quite safe to travel to Pakistan. And I hope in coming months, the condition will improve even further.
Mm. And in winter times, yeah, and another thing is that Pakistan also offers like places which are not overcrowded, and there's so many places which are like quite serene and calm and with not many people. So it is also
Yes,
one of the.
exactly. Especially the mountain areas are so wide and so dispersed locations available. Rather, many people in this season prefer to come to the mountains in Pakistan and go to faraway places to do treks, camping,
Mm,
and outings which are away from the crowded places. So I think Pakistan is, although our urban tourism was affected, but especially the mountain tourism was, I think, was quite a boom for even domestic market. So I think Pakistan is wonderful place, especially the mountain areas, even to
mm.
come to travel and during the COVID period. Yeah.
And about winter, like now in winter, we have some warm areas as well, like in the south. What would you recommend for a tourist who is coming from Europe or United States or any North America, that where they can go? Because I think in winters here, temperatures don't go down very much in southern. Parts of
Uh,
Pakistan and it's warm and cozy. So, what would you recommend if somebody wants to visit Pakistan in winter?
Yes, as I mentioned in my presentation,
Mm,
Pakistan is a country which has 9 ecological zones from
mm,
the sea level to the highest mountain. So, quite a large portion of the land is easily accessible and is comfortable for traveling in winter as well. All the southern region if people are interested to explore the culture and heritage of Pakistan, I think winter and autumn and till spring is the ideal time for these areas, because usually in summer these places are very hot. So people can come and explore the beautiful cities of Peshawar, Lahore, Karachi, Multan, Bahawalpur, and the desert areas of Cholistan and Thapaka, and many other places, even in the semi-mountainous areas like Murray Hills and Nathia Gali. They are all accessible throughout the year. So, in terms of access in winter, I think all these places are accessible. Even the high places like Hunza and Skardu is also accessible in winter, although it is cold. But last year we experienced that even number of mountaineering expedition came in winter, because
Yeah,
now the
yeah.
more and more winter expeditions are coming to Pakistan. Even this year, I have noticed there are certain winter expeditions are registered, and they are climbing even high mountains. There, in you see conditions are very very harsh in winter time, but people now the extreme adventure is quite a popular segment in mountaineering these days. So people are coming even for mountaineering in winter in the very very high mountain areas where the temperature is even minus 20, 25, or even minus 30. So, but the general tourist, I think the southern regions have excellent places. And again, these sites are still not crowded, the historical places and most of the places in the south. And so people can easily explore these places. They can go to Manjadaro, they can go to Multan, Uch Sharif, the beautiful desert of Cholistan. So all these places are accessible in winter, and it's a very, very nice time to be there in winter time.
And we also have, I think, some winter sports now, like
Yes, this year,
the
last year, there was quite a number of events took place even in the mountain areas. Our Winter Sports Association is now working with local communities to promote even ice hockey and skating and skiing in different part of the country. The two or three good resorts, even like Malam Jabba in Sawat and Naltar ski resort in the Gilgit Baltistan, where people can come and do the skiing on the longer downhill slopes. Even couple of international events are planned where international skiers are coming. Even last year, there were some ski expeditions who came and did the cross country skiing in the areas of Deosai, and some very experienced skiers came and they did heli skiing. They were dropped on the high mountains, and then they did skiing down in the very, very fragile and the wilderness areas in the north up there. So Pakistan is also good for winter sports, although we have limited facilities, but still we are developing on. Hopefully, in future there'll be more facilities available for winter tourists. But still, people can come and enjoy winter sports here.
okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for giving us time and explaining all this huge touristic potential of Pakistan. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Sultana ji. Hope we'll meet again. And I'll try to give you, as you mentioned earlier, a specific product wise presentation for adventure, for culture, for recreation. And I would love to introduce my country, such a beautiful country with rich culture and great diversity of landscape. I hope whosoever will come, they will really enjoy its purity and its hospitality of its people. Thank you very much, and all the way you have taken time out to introduce Pakistan. I'm really grateful to you.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.